So I'm from Headway, West New York, and Headway is a not-for-profit agency in Buffalo that is also affiliated with People Incorporated, a very large agency. I think many of you know about Headway, at least parts of it. Some of you have gone to some of our symposiums and also interacted with some of our People Inc. friends as well, that also has some initiatives in working with veterans. Headway started around 1982 as an agency to help people with traumatic brain injury, and we have expanded to include cognitive disorders as well. We're not intrinsically a veteran agency. We moved into working with more vet related issues through AmeriCorps and Vista, where we did a lot of, we had a couple grants with that. We started trying to put things together as much as we could help because of the synergy between brain injury and veteran wounds during wars. It made perfect sense, and blast injuries, et cetera. So that's how we kind of got into that. You were talking about Veteran Resource Guide. I did just check. We do still have it on our website. If you go to, and I did.
Ron, you muted yourself.
When you hit enter, it mutes you. Oh, weird. Anyways, I put through our website, which you can go to. We have on there a veteran link to our resource guide. It is dated. We do, one of our projects is updated. It's from 2015, although some of the things still are on there, are relevant. We want to change that. It was very popular when it came out in paper. I've really been trying to move things more to electronic media, so it makes more sense and we can update it more easily just because information changes so fast. Other things I just want to highlight that Headway, the agency, has done in terms of veterans is we, prior to COVID, we did a series of symposiums. The first one being on gap issues. The second one in TBI assessment, traumatic brain injury assessment. And the third one was on alternative therapies, which may have been our most popular because we had a drum circle. That was nice. And also the last one we did right before the COVID world started, we were trying to work on integration of non-traditional veteran services and working with veterans in conjunction with services that vets get as well. And so we were going to do, before COVID hit, it was kind of a toss-up between suicide issues and housing. It's kind of like where we were going, and then we kind of stopped on that. We did these in person. We had food, which our veteran advisors told us was super important, and veteran kind of, it's true for everybody, but we had food involved and they were very successful. So I feel like everybody does that COVID's taken away some more momentum and some things we were doing. We would like to get back to that. Thinking about maybe doing outdoor events, possibly maybe a way to kind of plan ahead, because you plan ahead and then, you get a new warning or you have to wear a mask or something. It just kind of makes it difficult. At Headway, where we have free resources for anybody who has some cognitive problems or brain injury. And what we do is we do have a person who we consider navigation, is like what we want to call it now, where we can help people calling in who maybe has a family member or someone with brain injury to navigate what possible resources may be helpful for them or they can utilize. We also have a support group, which was initially peer support, but I'm welcoming anybody who wants to attend it. It actually is the first and third Wednesday. So tonight, actually, it's meeting at 6:30 to 7:30. It's through a connection. If you let us know, we can walk you through how to do the connection, but through our website, if you go to virtual room 1 and you open that up, it's basically just a click here type of thing, and it brings you into a waiting room. We can bring you into the meeting. It's a access we use because it's easy and it's HIPAA compliant. And really all you have to do is have a web page and you can get in. Sometimes the signal is not as good as like what we're doing now, but it hasn't been a problem with overcrowding the group because it seems like it's just not the same as people coming in person, which was prior to COVID, but we're still trying to get some momentum with that. Usually what happens is that a few people show up, they get something out of it, get what they need, and they may not follow up again next time. But that's on an ongoing basis. It's there. You can also call Headway just to discuss an issue if you're unsure if something would work. that works as well. There's the other part of Headway, which is running waiver programs for the health department in New York State. So we run 2 waiver programs. These programs are all across New York State. We run the Buffalo region, they like to call it, but it includes 6 counties. So it's kind of traditional Western New York. We have Niagara, Erie, Chautauqua, Orleans County. We skip Genesee, which is administrated by Rochester. We have Wyoming, and we have Cattaraugus is our region. In those counties, if you have, for one program, the TBI program, traumatic brain injury program, if you have a traumatic brain injury between ages of 18 and 64, and it has left you at a level of functioning that is considered nursing home eligible, and you have Medicaid, you may be able to have additional resources in your home so that you can avoid going to a nursing home. And then the partner program is called Nursing Home Transition and Diversion Waiver, the worst name in waivers, because it's really designed to keep you out of nursing homes, although everybody freaks when you tell them about it, that we're trying to put you in one. It's the opposite. And for that one, it's from 18 to infinity, so it includes seniors as well. And it's really for if you're from 65 to infinity and you need a service to stay out of a nursing home and you have Medicaid, you may be eligible for that. And if between 18 and 64, if you have a physical disability, you also may be able to receive services similar to the traumatic brain injury waiver. So these services are what we administrate. So our role is to be the place where you would have referrals come in. We do the assessment. We then try to link them with providers. And another job we have is we also recruit provider agencies that provide the services. And some of the services that people can get on these is like service coordination. Everyone gets one of those to help them manage it. If you are eligible for in-home aid service through the program, you can get aids if you have some level of cognitive problem. We also have independent living skill trainers if you are eligible, counselors who can focus on dealing with adjustment to disability. We have some social day programs. We have some ability to do environmental modification, some ability to do assistive technology. It's not covered under regular Medicaid. If you go to our website, you can find all these kind of things. When I skip, we have positive behavioral intervention supports, if it makes sense as well. So if you fit in that criteria and you can get these programs, is very helpful. Being a veteran is not a negative or positive in doing these programs. I think the barriers I've seen is you have to have Medicaid, but if you have that, it's fine. We have veterans in the programs, but we also have a lot of non-veterans in the program. The criteria really is to help people stay out of a nursing home. So that's what we provide on those 2 programs. And again, we're basically the gatekeepers, and then we do the quality assurance, and we answer to the health department in those 2 programs. So that's kind of like the rough schematic of it. I'd like to answer questions. I usually think that's better than just someone, even though I'm being taped. Are we allowed to do questions even though we're taped?
Yes, no, definitely do questions, because somebody that watches the video might have the same question. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So anybody have questions? So.
I love the idea of your symposium. Did I hear you say that that's no longer occurring? Do you think it'll come back at all?
Yeah, we really postponed it basically due to the COVID outbreak. Headway doesn't do it all by herself. We do it in conjunction with People Inc. and also Catholic Charities was also a partner. So you know, the time off now from it, we may look for other partners to help us with that as we convene. What we do is we usually create a committee, which includes obviously veterans and representatives from, you know, in this case, Catholic Charities and People Incorporated. And we kind of hash out what our theme is. I know that some of the folks on here, I know have gone to at least some of ours. They're good events, and we'd like to start that up again. But again, that was the safety of like meeting out. You know, I think our numbers for those were around 100 to 200 people attending, so it's a large event. So again, we'd like to pick those up again. It's kind of dependent in somewhat on what happens with the virus and, you know, people's willingness to do these kind of things. So I've given you a lot of little bits of information. So if you have questions and you go to our website and you're not sure about anything, you're certainly welcome to call us. And we'll do a lot of in-person discussion with you to help you out and understand. Or you have someone, a lot of people, it's like you get calls like my cousin suffered, a bike accident and we thought he was okay. And now, he's acting a little bit differently and we don't know what to do. And he's been kind of grumpy with us, and anything we try to do, he says no to, and we're kind of at loss as what to do. That may be one kind of call that we get. We may be able to explore and maybe eventually talk to the person who had the bike accident to help them kind of think things through, where you can get some services. It's, the field of cognitive disorders and brain injury is difficult out there. There are some doctors who really don't want to deal with it. There's some that we think maybe are better at it. So we can, again, help people kind of through it. Neurologists in hospitals tend to stabilize you and then send you on your way. So a lot of times, a lot of families and a lot of individuals are kind of left with this kind of unknown where they, you can't see it. It's one of those can't see it injuries in a lot of folks. You kind of have these things that you couldn't do like before. It's scary. And it's also one of the kind of problems that people have that they don't necessarily want to admit, because if you start saying, I have cognitive problems, you're afraid to say that because then everyone then doesn't take you at face value. You're always doubted. They think, if you say something a little wonky, they think, oh, well, that must be because you have a head injury or something. So that kind of stigma goes on folks and then makes it difficult for them to talk about things. So those are kind of things that we understand. Families often just wonder why they just don't get a job and they'll be okay. So we can help with that as well. And also kind of explain a lot of the processes that we've seen by seeing a lot of folks. Brain injury is very individualized due to the complexity of the brain and the outcome, and also other cognitive disorders as well. So again, people think of us mostly for brain injury, but just remember, we also have people with cognitive disorders. We also have a program. If you qualify and you need some help, maybe staying home and out of a nursing home, it's not just brain injury. It's also, biggest users of that are family members, seniors with dementia, and also MS is like one of our also large kind of contributing factors why people need help. And then some neurologic disorders you never heard about. So I think that's my time, isn't it?
Thanks. No, thanks, Ron. That's real helpful. And I'm
Okay.
somewhat familiar with your organization. I've been at one of your symposiums, and you do put on, really do a really good service. So thank you. Really appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. And again, we'd like to get back to that once we get back to things. But we still function, just a lot of time.